So what is DranXperts? It's actually three. That's a typo. Should be 3 meters in one. It's a very accurate 3-phase bidirectional power and energy logger. Mostly portable. We do have customers who fix install it, but it's really intended for a portable application. You can certainly do if you want, but it's a bidirectional power and energy logger. So in an alternative energy environment, it'll measure in both directions, both produced and consumed energy. Now, the new capabilities which we introduced just at the beginning of 2022 this year, it is and are the sensor logger capabilities. So there's actually 2 models available. One is available with analog and digital inputs. And when I refer to that, I don't mean our voltage or in our current primary inputs. These are sensor and transducer inputs. So it'll connect to either a standard 0 to 10 volt or 4 to 20 milliamp standard transducer output for a variety of sensors that could do temperature, humidity, other environmental things, pressure, and anything you can dream of that produces those very industry standard outputs. Well, the third here, it is a PQ detector. So in parallel with all of this, DranXperT will detect if there's an RMS power quality event. And that's the example you can see down here on the right, where the voltage dipped down for a period of time and then went back up again. Just please don't misunderstand. This is not a PQ meter. It's not going to give you the oscillography and all the wave shapes and stuff. It's just kind of set off an alarm. Hey, you got a PQ problem. You probably want to pull out a more advanced DranXperT product like our HDPQ family to go identify and resolve that particular issue. So although there's many characteristics of the power quality capabilities, such as half cycle resolution, that are shared with our PQ meters, this is not in compliance with any PQ standards. It just happens to follow some of the methodologies. So the main features and benefits of DranXperT, again, it is a power/energy, both. Sensor logger and PQ disturbance detector all in one. You choose what you want to enable. You can do all of them or any one of these separately. Primarily, there are 3 voltage channels for direct measurements up to 600 volts, AC, 4 current channels. So it's 3 primary phases plus the neutral. And we use industry standard 333 millivolt current inputs. And all of our CTs are compatible with that. Anything that we provide is UL listed and CE compliant. However, it does give you the ability to bring your own CTs if you wish to do it. But we do recommend that they are safety approved for your own benefit here. Of course, we measure volts, amps, watts, VA, VARs, power factor, all the traditional energy parameters, as well as the PQ disturbance detector. Again, you'll see a trend of RMS events such as sags/dips, which are the same thing, swells, and changes in current. Again, changes in current are, current high, current low if you enable it. And that is all to a half an AC cycle resolution. You get harmonics and other parameters in parallel with that. So other benefits, DranXperT does have a web-enabled interface. And when we do our operational training in a few minutes, we'll primarily be focusing on that web-enabled interface. In fact, I have an interesting setup that's connected to a cellular modem that we're going to be using for our demonstration. So what that allows you to do is you can use DranXperT or any laptop, PC, smartphone, tablet, anything that can support a web browser, as long as the meter is internet connected or you have access to it from whatever communications that you choose. DranXperT comes with free unlicensed DranView XP software. So this is available as a free download from our website. You have the ability to have unlicensed software to look at your trends, do reports. That works just with DranXperT. So DranView XP only works with DranXperT. However, DranXperT is also compatible with more advanced DranView Pro and DranView Enterprise software. And that was a free addition that we made when we introduced DranXperT about 1.5 years ago. So the current versions of DranView Pro and Enterprise, and again, you can just download that at any time, do support DranXperT data in parallel with all of our other products like HDPQ. However, again, as a reminder, DranView XP only works with DranXperT. It does not work with any other DranX product. So just bear that in mind. So again, another huge benefit, best in class in the industry, is a 7-hour battery runtime. And that's a lithium-ion battery, so it has a very large capacity to it. Automatic wiring verification, and you can see that down here when you configure the meter for a particular wiring configuration, it detects whether that's correct. So as an example, if you set it for a delta configuration and you wire it as a Y, these LEDs are going to start blinking at you and to basically say, hey, something's wrong. Now, that may be intentional, but it's also to help guide you through and help you get your connections right the first time. You want to make sure that you get up and running error-free, as well as these LEDs here the colors can be changed to any color that you wish to match your color code that you may use in your factory or whatever. Each meter comes with Ethernet and USB communications. The primary communications are Ethernet. You can control the meter, download data from the meter. USB is used for a jump drive that you can pop into the meter and have data be downloaded to that jump drive to then bring to your computer and analyze with DranView software. Modbus and BACnet are standard features of the product, as well as every DranXperT is UL listed and CE compliant. So want to ensure that you're confident in the safety of the meters. Now, DranXperT is now available in 2 models, and this was the main introduction that we did earlier this year. We have a model with sensor inputs and transducer outputs and without. The model without, and you can see on the back panel here, has 4 analog inputs available, and those are each individual input. They're 4 isolated. Each can be configured for a 0 to 10 volt DC input or a 4 to 20 milliamp DC input, and all the 4 can be set up differently. There is a 1 kilohertz sampling rate for that. In addition, you have available 2 digital inputs that you can see over here. And there are 5 or 12 or 24 volts DC, and again, they are sampled in parallel at that 1 kilohertz rate. When you choose the model with sensors, you also get a GPS connection on the back, and you would have to purchase an optional antenna. But what that provides are really 2 things. It provides time synchronization and location. So primarily time synchronization, so you know your meter is synchronized and the time is correct, as well as location, which I will demonstrate later, and you know where your meter is. If you put it out in the field somewhere, you know where that substation may be or whatever it is. So an important point is you can log on DranXperT only power, only the sensors and transducers, or together. So you could do one, the other, or both simultaneously. It's your choice. One doesn't require the other. And what that allows you to do, and you can see here just a simple trend, this is your power and this is your temperature. And you can see them within DranView software. They're trended right at the same time. So you can see the direct relationship between your power consumption and your temperature in this particular example. And again, this could be, the temperature can be replaced with any sensor or transducer type output that may be available to you, as long, again, it's a 10 volt output or 4 to 20 milliamp output. So to wrap this section up, what are the applications of DranXperT? It's really any application that requires power measurement and or environmental measurement. So energy audits, demand side management, basic power quality, even check metering applications, which is a requirement in certain districts and certain towns and cities and states. Sub-metering, tenant metering, which is becoming more and more popular, is alternative energy production, or what are you producing versus what are you consuming at a particular point in your facility or in the grid for a utility. And all these other applications out there, and popular ones are also power factor studies. Now, when you have the available sensor input module, well, then you add process monitoring, substation monitoring, because now you're looking at the condition of your environment. You have the ability to look at what's happening in parallel, transformer temperatures, alarms, status indicators, breaker positions, things like that. Pulse counting. So when we talk about energy, we in this field automatically assume electrical energy. Well, you know, DranXperT using the digital inputs can certainly accumulate a counter from an electric meter, but it could be any form of utility, water, gas, steam, anything that's a pulse output and scaled can be measured and logged and even triggered by DranXperT. Then you get alarming, breaker, and other protection devices, other security systems, and other things like that, as well as GPS location and more. So there's a lot of capabilities. When you put the sensor inputs both in parallel with the power inputs, you get a whole environmental kind of monitoring that's related to power. Utilities and industries can be anything ranging from utilities, commercial, industrial, petrochemical, all the way down. We're not the ones who determine the applications in the industries. It's you folks who would use the product. So it's certainly not limited to this list over here. So a lot of applications.